The time I got reincarnated as a JoJo character from Part 6, Part 3, Chapter 4.
The time I got reincarnated as Speedwagon.
Wait, that would be actually a pretty funny isekai. I'd watch that. I love Speedwagon. They didn't have they didn't do the banging. They didn't have the sex. They didn't do the intercourse.
Well, not yet.
Not yet anyway. We're getting there. Hello everyone, welcome to Life Is Daijoubu, episode
12.
12. Thank you. I about said episode 8, but we're much farther along than that. Again. This will be episode 8 too. 8 better. 8 but better.
So I think this would technically be half a year of...
Oh, this would be 6 months? Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Wait, so what's 52 divided by 2? We did this last time. 26.
I don't know the math.
Next week, it would be episode 13. Okay.
13 would be the halfway.
Back. 13 would be halfway.
Wow. Anyway, my name is Cole. I'm joined with Skylar and Thane. Now that I'm speaking, my nose sounds like it's kind of stuffy, and that's why my voice sounds weird. Also, my throat's weird.
This guy had a bloody nose earlier, so
I definitely did.
I had a bloody nose in the shower. Let's go, homie.
Is this contagious? Are we?
Want some bloody nose?
This is like the Trixie virus. From
Thane's gonna start bleeding out of his ears. His is gonna be weird.
Jeez, I don't want that if it's gonna come back and hit us.
Have you ever seen the movie The Crazies with that ugly? It's in the eyes actually. They start to
bleed.
Yeah, bleed, like goo comes out of the eyes and stuff.
Sounds like a B horror movie.
Is it an old movie?
It's it got remade. The remake's apparently better, but the original was like a George Romero movie.
Oh, really? George Romero?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, it wasn't zombies, it was infection. It made them kind of crazy.
Basically the same thing. Sounds
but
like anyway.
They were more coherent. They were still alive.
Oh.
So they're just like psychotic.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a show about anime. That's what we're doing. That's what we always do on this show. Today we're going to be talking about Kyousougiga. We're going to be going over full-on spoilers when we get to that point, as well as just talking about our thoughts. But before we get to that point, we're going to talk about the news and then the shows we've been watching for the fall season of anime. This is fall still. It's crazy to think this is still technically the fall season.
Yeah, it always throws me off because I'm pretty sure they do it with gaming too. It's like winter's considered like... Isn't it January on?
Well, technically, I don't think we're even in winter yet. The season of winter. I don't think it's technically started yet. I think it starts halfway through December.
Yeah, I guess for us, since we live in a colder climate, winter's like November.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it is weird to think that this is technically fall. And the fall season really won't end until the beginning of January, so
I'm going to actually
look forward to that.
Really quick.
Also December and January is usually like just bad times to release anything in market-wise.
So technically, it's according to the internet. Winter starts on December 21st.
Yeah, so not even halfway. It's a little over halfway. I guess heads up as well, we will be doing an end-of-the-year episode that will release, funnily enough, on January 6th, the beginning of the year. Because
hey, listen, if the Oscars can do their stuff in February, we could do ours.
Yeah, good point, good point. Well, the reason why is because it'll be like for now, it'll be a tandem fall or end of fall season as well as end of the year season or end of the year. And we're going to be talking about the fall season as well as the entire year in that episode. That'll be out January 6th. So look forward to that one. Technically, that's when the fall season ends, is like roughly January 6th, the first week of January. That's around where the winter season starts, fall season ends. So that's what we basically planned out. So we got, 2 more episodes or 1 more episode of the main show and then the end of the year one. So look forward to that, guys. It'll be a very similar format to the last one ever. However, we're going to continue to progress and make it better as we go. Just... you learn and you grow and you make better shows.
We're just spitting game, hoping that we can figure it out.
Basically, I don't know how we've done 6 months of this so far, and it's still just been...
Yeah. And you know what's interesting?
Trying to change anyway.
What's interesting is a lot of our friends that talk to us about the show are like, man, I'm surprised you guys haven't burnt out yet. And I'm like, honestly, I haven't been burnt out. If anything, I've been watching more anime and having more fun since we've been doing this show. Because it's like another thing where I feel like I'm not just watching for entertainment purposes, but I'm also like, it's productive, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what's really doing it for me is just the fact that I'm watching multiple genres at a time. Like, I've got my rom-com, I've got my action, I've got my shonen, I've got my serious, I got a little
Got
bit of
my
everything.
ecchi.
I tried to do a little bit of everything. Wink, wink thing.
I'm definitely gonna watch the ecchi show next season.
Yeah, I've been trying to do a little bit of everything so I can have just more fun, and it's not just 5 rom-coms in a row,
Yeah.
I will probably do a rom-com every season, though. No doubt about that. That's going to be a consistent. I guess this season I'm technically doing 2. 2? I think 2. Yeah, just 2. Yeah, so it is what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the news. We all got a little bit of news things to talk about. So the first thing I want to bring up is that Disney Plus got the exclusive streaming rights for the next season of Tokyo Revengers, which is
I was gonna
interesting.
Say that,
that was one of the things you were going to
yeah.
say. I find it very interesting. I watched the first season of Tokyo Revengers, and it was on HBO Max of all places. And so it sounds like the rights for this show is just kind of jumping around all over the place.
So HBO Max just borrows stuff from Crunchyroll.
Oh, so Crunchyroll had the rights
and
to it.
Funimation, yeah, and like HBO Max just borrows like, hey, here's
Gotcha.
anime, and I think Thick, our friend, he even said, yeah, when you go to the anime section, it says Crunchyroll and HBO Max. It's like, there you go.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense
Yeah.
now. So it was a Crunchyroll thing, and then
Yeah.
Disney was able to swipe the rights.
Yeah, just like with Bleach, and just
yeah,
like
because
with
Bleach is on there too.
just like with what's the popular manga, the
Summertime
redo-
Rendering?
Yeah, Summertime Rendering.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how popular anime and manga is becoming, where companies like Disney are even wanting to jump
Oh,
on
totally,
board.
Yeah.
totally.
Disney is probably the biggest one when it comes to entertainment.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm personally looking forward to Tokyo Revengers. I watched the first season on HBO. I guess it doesn't really matter because it's Crunchyroll, but I watched it I don't know, had to have been more than 6 months now. It's been a long time, but I quite enjoyed it when I watched it. So the fact that it's going to Disney is interesting. But I think you bring up a good point where they are kind of just getting more shows, that anime is
Yeah.
becoming more popular.
Yeah,
Not only that, I feel like they're trying to get more popular shows, more shows that are relevant, because
yeah.
Bleach is obviously a very popular show. And I would argue that
Number-
Tokyo Revengers is pretty popular now too since season
Yeah.
1.
Yeah. Number 2 show on Mal.
Oh
'Cause
yeah, right
people-
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing I got is just another confirmation that Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, it will be getting an anime. We brought that up last time when it actually got announced, but now it is confirmed for 2023. So I wanted to throw that out there. And then another one along those lines is the Heavenly Delusions trailer dropped I think this past week.
It looks amazing.
It looks pretty good. I saw some screenshots. I haven't seen the full trailer yet, but that was also it's confirmed for 2023 as well. So look forward to that in the coming year.
Production IG is those guys where it's like, we need to make a really good looking anime, and then it's like, give us $1 million.
I now that you bring that
But
up though, I don't even
Production IG also has done a lot of CG stuff lately. It hasn't looked as good. It's
I
like,
saw
you
some
sh-
CG shots in that trailer, but they looked good.
Yeah.
Granted,
like-
they weren't people; they were like scenery and
They've
background shots.
But they've
and
done a
stuff.
lot of shows with just like purely CG. It's like, that doesn't look very good. But usually the stuff they come out animation wise, it looks banger. I really like Standalone Complex. I think that's a good show to watch.
I guess a better word is not background, but set pieces. They had
Yeah.
CG set pieces in that trailer.
Yeah, that's like, if you make it barely noticeable, that's like cuts down on animation time.
Yeah, and what's
I bet-
interesting? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I bet Chainsaw Man has a lot of CG set pieces in the
Yeah, and
background.
I was gonna say, like, what's interesting too, though, is seeing Mappa and how they've evolved their CG just from the shows I've seen Mappa do.
like
Dorohedoro to like
Dorohedoro.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Attack on Titan too. Even Chainsaw Man, it's like, dang, like, and I think you mentioned that a couple episodes ago, or you mentioned it in the Chainsaw Man episode, but just seeing CG become more of a prominent thing is probably something we're gonna see, especially as more studios get better with it.
Yeah, I think it's overall a good thing. I like the idea of it being so that the animators don't have to like stress as hard with it either. I think that's good too.
Yeah.
Overall, I see it as a good thing. In its infancy, it was really, really bad, but we're getting to the point where it's definitely getting better.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how like CG technology, they like make it look amazing in like video games and movies, but for some reason Japan, with anime, they just haven't figured it out. And also Japan in movies, a lot of that CG, even like the bigger budget movies, just it doesn't look good. It's like, how you guys make some of the best video game technology.
I think they just clash. I
think it's the art style.
Yeah.
the anime art style with CG just clashes.
Yeah, it's probably true.
I mean, it's a little different when you've got like a CG anime art style where the full game is basically like that, like Persona, for example.
Yeah.
Granted, the cutscenes in Persona are just animated, but like the overall game and everything, that's just CG. So it kind of makes sense. Like it's not just the characters; it's like the backgrounds and everything is CG. And I think that's kind of where the illusion is masked.
And then I think at that point though, you'd get shows like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse where everything's CG, and you're like,
yeah, that's true.
I think I'm looking at Play-Doh.
I feel like
here.
that's a texture thing with that though. I don't know
and
though.
It could be. I like that's just what comes to mind when I think of like full CG shows. Is like those old Disney shows I used to watch.
Toy Story.
I do like how the Unreal Engine is being used for a lot. I heard it was used for The Mandalorian. Well, actually, I didn't hear. I saw a video of them rendering stuff in like the Unreal Engine and some other technology. But it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I hope that more anime studios use some stuff like Unreal and like maybe CG engines. Even like the what's it called? What's the Steam one called? The Source Filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
You could probably even pull off some good CG, but
it'd be a little bit cheaper too if they needed to.
But I think people are getting better with CG, and maybe we'll find the Pixar of anime one day.
That's an interesting way to put it, yeah. Because like modern Pixar and Disney CG films are really good looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's the art style. I think it really goes a long way, but it does, and it's just good. Anyway, the last thing I've got is Makoto Shinkai's Suzume is doing really, really well in the box office in Japan. It's the guy that makes Your Name, the guy that made Weathering with You. His new movie, Suzume, doing really well. Very happy to see it doing really well. I want to see it very badly, as it's roughly sold about 5 million tickets. I think it's been at number 1 for 2 weeks now in Japan.
Wow.
I'm pretty excited to see it just because I like his other work, so... Also, it's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Even if the story's bad, it's going to look pretty.
Yeah.
Does he have his own animation studio, or does he just hire out to animate those?
I think he works for one called Comics Wave.
Is that who does the movies?
Yeah, I think they've done all of his movies, and I'm pretty sure it's a studio he's worked for. And I don't know if I'm pretty sure he runs it by now, because like his name is everywhere in the anime world, but I don't know if he like worked at it first and worked his way up or something. I'd have to look deeper.
Was your
into
name like his box office breakthrough?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm glad you had an answer to that thing because I had no answers for that.
But I knew him before. I knew him for a movie called 5 centimeters per second. It was like a shorter 50-minute movie.
Was that the love story one?
Yeah, where
I've read that manga. I've not seen the film.
His films are pretty good. There was one they had like Crunchyroll had all his films on at like for one day at one time, and saw one called it's like a Ghibli film. Was it Children Who Chase Lost Voices, and it had like the Ghibli art style and everything. It was pretty good.
His stuff has always looked good though. Like whenever he's like the head of the project, it's always looked very, very good. It just wasn't until Your Name where the story was decent too. And I'm not saying Your Name's bad, but it's also not the greatest story ever. You mean, you know. I love it, but I can tell it's not the best story in the world.
It's Freaky Friday, but a love story.
It's just that classic.
It's got a really, I think it's got a really cool concept.
I wrote a lot of hentais with. I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's plenty of though. Thane, what do you got for news? Do you have anything else? I might have stole the one, but...
Well, Disney Plus not only has Tokyo Revengers, but they also have Osamu Tezuka's Phoenix. This is a famous manga known as his last manga, his like magnum opus, as you will, which he left unfinished because, well, he died while writing it. So it's gotten several anime adaptations, but this one's a new one that Disney Plus acquired, and it looks pretty good. But apart from Disney really getting anime, they also have a new project coming out which apparently mixes both live action and anime. I can't remember what it's called. I just looked it up here. So what the concept is it's like this fantasy world that's every time it's in there it's animated, but then like characters come out into the real world and it's all live action.
Interesting.
And also what I saw interesting is that it'll have a global release when it comes out. So that'd be interesting to see.
So now you too can make those photos where you put an anime girl in real world.
Yeah. Let me see. Wonder Hatch.
Wonder Hatch.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I guess when that
And also,
gets closer, we'll learn more about it.
And also, this story's a month old, but I was watching. It was this relates to one of the animes I caught up, and Golden Kamuy, one of the main staff on the anime, passed away, so the anime had to be delayed, and it's probably not coming back till January. So
All I gotta say is that I really hope it wasn't due to like overwork.
yeah, that'd
be
suck.
incredibly disappointing and very depressing if
Yeah.
that was the case.
But yeah, it was severe enough to stop it because it was one of the main staff. I'm not sure it was the director because the director probably be too high profile to keep hidden. So it's probably one of the I can't name all the staff.
Yeah,
But
something.
yeah,
That's very unfortunate.
yeah,
Sad to hear about that, but man, I really hope it wasn't because they
Yeah.
were being overworked. That'd be terrible.
uh-huh.
Very, very disappointed
I've-
with
yeah,
that.
I've
If there
heard
would be.
I've heard stories about how stressful working anime is,
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard plenty too.
and also a manga artist. He posted a picture of his schedule and he was working on a manga, and like one day he only could get 2 hours of sleep.
Dude, I wonder if they need to
Yeah.
have like some sort of union with rules put into play where it's like you cannot work, and maybe they already have like a general workers union
Yeah.
where you're not allowed to work past X amount of hours. But
Mhm.
where you're your own boss at that point, if you're making your own manga and stuff, do you think that's self-imposed? Like, well, not
They got
necessarily.
deadlines.
Yeah, not
the
necessarily.
deadlines
Yeah,
wouldn't be, but
they have deadlines from the publishing companies, I'm sure. Never mind then. Yeah, there probably just needs to be something put in play because you hear about it with video games, with movie producing, with anime and manga, obviously, and it sucks. It's sad.
yeah, for sure. Is that all you had?
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you got for us, Guy?
I'll just go quickly through. I just saw a couple. Two that I'm like super interested in is Seven Deadly Sins. The movie is coming out December 20th. I don't know what the movie's going to be about because the anime finished and kind of wrapped everything up. But I haven't finished the manga, so I don't really know. They could be, who knows? I haven't really looked into it. I just
probably
saw it.
like a filler thing where it's
Yeah,
like,
and that's kind of what I figured. Could be like one of those Naruto
Yeah.
movies where it's just side stuff. And then Fly Me to the Moon season 2 got announced. It had a teaser trailer, I believe, for 2023. We may have talked about this one too. I don't remember, but have we talked about the Nier Automata anime coming out?
I think briefly.
I've known about it and I've seen the animation. It's like, wow.
I feel like we've mentioned it here, but maybe
That's
not.
A1 Pictures, right? That's doing that.
I'm not sure. I just saw that it was. Obviously, it's been announced already, but the headline that I saw was they were announcing voice actors and actresses, and apparently the voice actress for Anya in Spy Family is going to be one of the characters in
like
Nier.
2B
Yeah, probably. I'm
pretty sure it's just the cast from the anime.
from
Of
the
game.
game.
From the game. I'm pretty sure it's just the cast from the game.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, I don't know if you guys saw this too, and like it's not like this is confirmed, but it was on Twitter where I think it was the writer for Vagabond said that he wants to finish it.
Oh.
So apparently
yeah.
Vagabond's coming back.
Well, that's cool. At first I thought Vinland Saga. It's like, well, he's writing it, but then I heard Vagabond. It's like, oh, Vagabond, that guy.
Yeah, isn't Vagabond like the big omnibus ones with like samurais on them?
I believe so.
Yeah. So Vagabond's a story about Minato Musashi. I can't remember his first name, but it's like
Is he a
based off.
samurai?
Yes, he's a real samurai. It's like based off real life. It's more of a realistic, gritty samurai drama. People really loved it, and then it went on hiatus for a while, and he went to go make another. He went to go just focus on another manga. This is the guy who did Slam Dunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
those are
okay.
two very different styles.
Yeah.
Very different, yeah.
But then he kind of put Vagabond on hold and went to go do another basketball manga called Real, which is about wheelchair basketball.
I think I've seen that actually.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
on the Shonen Jump app,
That's probably where I've seen it.
but
then.
you have to buy them. You can't like read them. But like, yeah,
I've seen it at the
he's-
store.
this guy's his manga is known for popularizing basketball in Japan. Like everyone's like, oh, I like this basketball sport.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't have your blue box without Slam Dunk.
yeah,
I gotta read Slam Dunk then. That's a gotta read on my list.
yeah.
Well, that pretty much does it for our news section. We're going to go ahead and just re-list off the stuff that we started watching for the fall season. And then, I guess, briefly say what we're projecting, I guess, our number one anime of the season to be will be. I guess before I say that, I should just say Chainsaw Man's kind of excluded. It'll be in the finalist, but, like, we'll say, like, our favorite right now without
Yeah.
saying Chainsaw Man, if that was your favorite.
Favorite with the exception of Chainsaw Man because
Because
Chainsaw
that's
Man
no
is-
fun.
Chainsaw Man's probably my number one with how
It probably
well
is
of an
mine as well.
adaptation it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so my list is Spy Family 2, I guess part 2. Technically season 1, part 2. I will say that I'm a little bit behind on some of these shows thanks to Thanksgiving and all that jazz. I'm finally getting back into the swing of things. I'm caught up with a good portion of them, but there are some, like Spy Family, I don't think I've seen for the last 2 weeks, or at least the last 1 week. Speaking of being behind, My Hero Academia Season 6, I almost all but dropped that one. I'm sure I'll get to it eventually with the dub, but I just was not having a lot of fun with it just because it's the same. I've read the manga before, so it was more
I'm
of the
probably
same.
gonna start watching that for this next season because it's a 2-core, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Is it a 2-core?
probably.
I
It's a
didn't think
new
it was
season.
gonna be.
It's a new season, so they got unless they cut it off right at the.
It very well
Yeah.
could be. I never thought
Yeah.
about it that way, but I don't know. Next is Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. Still watching that. Still liking it. I'm the Villainous, so I'm training the final boss. Still watching that one. Those two are pretty much the main ones I'm caught up on. Beast Tamer. I think I might be caught up on that one. I might be one behind, but still watching it. More Than Just a Married Couple But Not Lovers. I think I'm one episode behind that. Chainsaw Man. Urusei Yatsura. I think I'm 2 episodes behind on that one. And then I had on the list at the beginning of the season I wrote Arc Knights, which is that anime adaptation of that mobile phone game. And I will say, I watched the first 10 minutes of the first episode, but got very uninterested very quickly, and I turned off the show and haven't gotten back to it since. So I don't have any plans to go back to it since. So if I was going to pick a number one from this, putting Chainsaw Man aside, if I had to pick a number one from these, it would either be Mob Psycho or I'm the Villainous. So those are my 2 so far. What do you got going for us, Guy? What's your list again?
So I had DIY, do it yourself. I dropped that one. It's a slice of life, and I just wasn't feeling it. I got My Hero. Man, I love My Hero. It's
Such
so
a
much
giant,
fun right
giant
now.
dynamic
Yeah, I know.
right there.
But it's in a weird state right now where it's got like that Dragon Ball thing going on where there's so many different stories. Like you got story 1, 2, 3 all happening at the same time. So you get like 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here. So it feels a little like slow paced, but not at the same time. I don't know. It feels good, but then it's like, dang, I want to see what happens next, but I can't because I have to wait. Spy Family is awesome. I'm loving it. Chainsaw Man. The Akiba Maid Wars, I dropped that one. It's just too dumb for me, I guess. I don't know. If you like it, that's awesome. I
He's
just
calling you dumb if you like that. That's what he said.
that's not what I meant. It was just
maybe the show's too smart. Maybe the show's secretly too smart. For
yeah,
you.
maybe it is too smart for me, and it's just like an allegory on gang wars, but with maids. Blue Lock is really fun. It's the soccer anime. I'm enjoying that one. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I think another thing that makes this fun for me is Japan is still, as currently of us filming this, is still doing well in the
December
World
3rd.
Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, December 3rd, yeah. And they had that freaking anime play, which I believe was out of bounds. After Cole and I watched the clip together, I think it was out. But it was a very anime play where Japan saved it and then scored a goal off of it. And I'm like, dang. And then every time Cole and I talk about it, I'm sure the mangaka for Blue Lock is just freaking out.
Just making big
Yeah,
now.
it's like a
Then
profit.
as soon as we release this, as soon as we the filming this, as soon as we release the episode, it'd be like
Japan loses.
Japan's out.
Japan is.
We better knock on wood for
Knocking
Japan.
on wood. Did you hear about that by the way? How they beat Spain? Japan beat Spain. I think it was Spain.
I haven't really been keeping
not
up with the
sure.
World
So
Cup.
Spain scored the first goal.
Uh-huh.
Then Japan scored another goal.
Uh-huh.
And then to beat their tie, the ball was rolling out of bounds. It was like a millimeter from being out of bounds.
Uh-huh.
A Japanese player kicked the ball inwards, and another player kicked it right into the goal. It was the most
I gotta
anime
see
thing
this.
I've
Yeah,
ever
I
seen
gotta
in
see-
real
You guys
life.
should
You
show me that.
Look up the
We'll
clip.
show you at the
Or, yeah,
at
the break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was pretty cool.
So then the last one I got is Bocchi the Rock. Man, that once again, that's a slice of life, but for some reason I like this one way more than DIY. DIY they just build things, but the Bocchi the Rock is very relatable. In a sense of like I feel like lots of people, myself included, have some sort of mild to severe social anxiety as far as interacting with other humans.
I was gonna say, Chainsaw Man aside, I think Bocchi the Rock's probably gonna be like the internet's #1. As from what I can tell, people really love this show. Like,
Yeah.
a lot.
It's very fun, and just without spoiling anything, and I mentioned it a little bit last time I talked about Bocchi the Rock, but it's got a lot of themes that are very relatable. It's got music, especially rock and roll, which I love, and it's got like intermingled throughout the show is there's lots of different things that I'm assuming it's the writer and director, whoever's in charge of whoever wrote it, is they'll have like cuts of real world things going on. Like at one scene you see somebody's hand and it's like counting, or it had that stop motion section where it just for like probably like 10 or 15 seconds they'll put something in there that's not animated, and you're like, this is, I don't know, it's just really really fun. Where at points it feels like a YouTube video, I guess, for lack of a better term. But yeah,
I didn't think about that. That's funny.
I really like Bocchi. So if I had to pick my favorite, I think I'm going to have to say Spy Family, because I think it's just got a lot more comedy that I really like, and it's just fun. It's a cute love story, and I'm just slowly learning that I don't really like slice of life, even though Spy Family at times is kind of a slice of life. So maybe I do. I don't know.
I don't read it for the slice of life. I read it for the espionage.
I like.
I know it's
just
not
got
the
a good.
focus, but like
It's got a good combo. of
it's
all
got
of
me
it.
interested in the espionage stuff.
I definitely like Spy Family because of the slice of life. I won't
Yeah.
deny that. Maybe I need
I
to
know
watch more
it's-
slice of life for these seasons.
I know it's and I know it's not the focus, but like I want to see where it goes with the espionage stuff, because the bus stuff they had.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. That's on
Oh.
the anime yet. Excuse me. I'm reading the manga, but
Yeah.
I read the volumes as they come
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
not
No
out
spoilers,
physical.
thing.
Yeah.
That's not physical.
Where we're at right
There is
now
a-
is
we're-
very intense.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very. It's what I read it for, because it's like, oh no, Anya's in danger. This is
Stop talking.
talking.
She was in danger in the yacht
yeah,
part.
Sure, she's always in danger.
Yeah.
Anya's always in danger, but this one is like, dang, and we won't say anything.
Stakes are pretty high.
Yeah.
Thane, what are you watching?
So first I'm gonna start off with the anime I kind of dropped in loose term. I might go back and watch it for fun. Drop Berserk because it's just the 90s anime, or the movies just again, and it's not the same. It doesn't have the same luster. Lucifer Biscayhammer, screw that, man. I read the manga. It's fun, but the anime is just awful. And I haven't really said drop this one per se. Like, I just haven't caught up with it yet. But I don't know if I really want to finish it. But Shinobi no Shinobi no Itoki. It's the ninja manga, but with like more realistic ninjas. Realistic being a loose term. It's got some sci-fi in it, but I don't know. It's just like it had an interesting premise, but it just doesn't do enough with it. It just kind of feels average. It's kind of a shame. But anyways, the one I am watching. Oh yeah, I also have My Hero and Pop Team and My Hero and Spy Family, but I haven't started those. Maybe My Hero I'll start, but Spy Family I'm probably just gonna leave when they have a season 2 announced, and I'll catch up with it. But anyways, one I'm watching and probably my favorite is Gundam Witch from Mercury. I really like the setting and the plot. At first I thought, this is kind of weird for Gundam, but I think it fits Gundam. It's just a little different. Also, like the main character and her stupid stuttering. She's like, beep, 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 beep.
Gigik was saying that if you're gonna watch a Gundam anime, that's the one to watch to get into Gundam.
Yeah, I think the main character is best girl of the season.
Ooh, that's a big
bold,
claim
yeah.
right there.
bold statement.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
And then we got Pop Team Epic. No, scratch that. Those two are my main girls. Best comedy anime I've watched. I know, bold statement. I know we got other good comedy animes like Asobi Asobase, and
That's a big word.
yeah, and God, what's Konosuba? I know, but this one,
He's not seen Konosuba yet, though, has he?
I know,
remember
but
that
I
was
know
not-
it's funny because from the clips. But yeah, I just really like it. Okay. Then Raven of the Inner Chamber. It's just Scooby Doo in China.
That sounds interesting, actually.
Not really Scooby Doo. There are ghosts.
It's not like Villain of the Week, is it?
It's Mystery of the Week kind of. It does like
Is it
have a
goofy?
mystery, set up a mystery in one episode, and then it has a cliffhanger, and then kind of
Gotcha.
resolves the mystery.
I don't think it's supposed to be
there's
goofy at all.
There's an overarching story going on. She's just solving ghost mysteries.
This was the one I was
Yeah.
interested in when I was watching the trailers for them for this season, and I decided not to watch it. And I won't lie, I'm kind of glad I didn't, just because it looks way too serious for my tastes.
Yeah, it gets a bit serious at times. It's a bit silly though at times. The main girl's real cute though.
That'll do it. I'm watching. Where am I?
Sold.
I'm going back.
Then Mob Psycho 100 I'm not caught up with, but season 2 that I've watched so far, it's good.
That's one I need
It's
to
hella
watch.
good.
I got that on
And
my
I can't wait to
backlog.
get into season 3.
Season 2 freaking slaps for Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
I've been liking season 3, but season 2 is better in my book still.
Yeah. And then Chainsaw Man, we got then Golden Kamuy, sadly, like I said,
Going
only
on
6
break,
episodes.
hiatus, I guess.
And I'm probably not going to put it in my top 3 because it's not finished,
Yeah.
sadly.
Whenever that comes back, though, you could put that in the
that's
top
probably
3
going to
then.
be in my top 3 if winter 2023 isn't just filled with bangers, which they got Vinland Saga coming out, which I gotta need to watch
Is
first
that
season.
season 2?
Oh yeah, and also I haven't started it, but JoJo I'm gonna watch probably because it's got the final 14 episodes up on Netflix right now.
Part 6, part 3.
Yeah, part 6, part 3.
I hate that so much.
I know, I hate it too. Everyone hates it.
I love it because it sounds so
Yeah.
stupid. It's like
And
an isekai title.
That's about it.
That time that I watched
Yeah.
JoJo Part 6, Part 3.
The time I got reincarnated as a JoJo character from Part 6, Part 3, Chapter 4.
The time I got reincarnated as Speedwagon.
Wait, that would be actually a pretty funny isekai. I'd watch
Yeah.
that. I love Speedwagon.
Man, Speedwagon deserved his own spin-off manga of going on adventures.
Totally did.
Yeah.
He totally did.
Why I got Rohan Kishibe in the spin-off? Where's my Speedwagon spin-off?
So what you said the Gundam one's probably your number one so
Gundam's
far?
probably number 1 so far. I mean, the plot hasn't like gotten super serious, but I have a feeling it's gonna go places.
Yeah.
It's like, especially if you watch the prologue, like they don't make a prologue like that with like seriousness and like very tragedy, and not have the show eventually just hit onto that. Besides, it's starting to lean heavily into that. So
Yeah.
we might have a full scale war by the end of the show.
Do you think
There's already a war going on, like the Earth place, like Earth, I guess it's called Earth place
Earth Place?
in Earth realm.
The Earth-like.
So it's probably definitely gonna, have war and death and sadness.
Do you think they'll do like a season 2 or just one?
Depends on what you say. Season 2, like
Like, are they going to continue on with this specific Gundam story?
maybe. Usually these shows are usually like 50 episodes long. Like
Oh, so it's going to be multiple seasons, probably.
Yeah.
Or like it's going to go into the winter season, probably.
yeah, probably.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, that'll do it for the beginning of the show. We're going to take our break, and when we get back, we're going to go into Kyousougiga, full-on spoilers. Don't listen if you don't want spoilers. I don't know what else to say. That's the spoiler warning. You had it here. I'm not going to do it again. We'll see you guys in just a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back from our break, and now we're going to discuss Kyousougiga. And before we get into the discussion, wowzer, was that a show? Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Man, this was such a weird one for me. Like the first 2 episodes, I was lost and I just wasn't feeling it.
So I watched the first episode twice.
You did?
Yeah, I watched the first episode while I was laying in my bed one night. And I fell asleep every 5 minutes, and I'm like, I can't. I have no idea what in the actual hell is happening. I got to start over. So the next day I started over and watched it fully awake in my office chair.
I'm curious, Thane, because you said you watched this, like what, in your early 20s, 1920s? Or was
Watched
this?
it back when it was released, so it was like around 2013, right after high school.
Oh, so you were, okay, you're still in your
10
teens then.
years ago. Jesus.
So,
oh my gosh, yeah,
did
that
you-
is a long time.
were you able to follow it then? Like, did you really
Uh,
like it as a kid? Or what did you
most
like
of it.
about it?
Most of it. At first, when I watched it, I just really liked the colors and the characters. I really liked it because I was in a dark time in my life, and I just need something colorful.
But that's,
And also at the
that has
time,
some dark themes.
yeah,
So,
there's
Oh.
some dark stuff, but also at the time they also had stuff like Kill la Kill and what else? They have
Attack on
airing?
Titan.
Attack on Titan, yeah.
It was
They
right
have-
around there.
well, no, not at that season in the at the fall season, but
Oh, no.
they also had a one called Beyond the Boundary. I like those colors. Not the most amazing story, but it's a Kyoto animation show, so it looked beautiful.
Yeah. So, I guess I'm going to do my best to synopsize this story.
Well, I guess I could have done that, but
I just want to test my what I got out of it, and then you're gonna be there to correct me because I don't know if I got any of it.
I don't know if I'm much help. Like
Oh, gosh,
towards
no.
the no. So I got most of it up to episode 6, up until like episode 7, when just the story got too complex for its own good. It's very convoluted
Yeah, well,
towards the end.
I've picked out I believe, what is the main theme of what I really liked about it, but I'm
It's
assuming
just,
that's going to be the
the main
same
theme is just
thing.
family. Like
So here's the gist, and
Yeah.
correct me please because I'm sure I'll get something.
I'll try.
So the gist of it is a guy gets a rabbit wife, and they have
This guy's a
kids.
god.
So this
Well,
guy's,
don't spoil it yet.
Oh my- so this guy, he can pretty much draw anything he draws comes to life.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's like Okami.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
I don't remember his name. His name's Okami to me.
No, Amaterasu, the
I
sun
guess
goddess.
he was wearing a fox mask. Is Amaterasu
They
a
call
fox?
him
Wolf.
Mioe. Mioe is his
Yeah,
name.
Mioe is his
Mioe?
name. Priest Mioe.
Okay, anyway, so he's vibing, and then this rabbit talks to Buddha, and the Buddha lets the rabbit have her body, and then she's like, cool, now I'm going to make them love me, and then they fall in love, and they have kids. Their first kid is a dead kid
Yeah.
that was brought
Well,
back.
so they physically didn't do the deed having
They
kids.
didn't kill the kid.
Yeah.
No. And they didn't have they
Yeah.
didn't do the banging. They
Yeah.
didn't have the sex. They didn't do the intercourse.
Well, not yet.
Not yet anyway.
Yeah.
We're getting there. and so
They adopted
the dead kid. They brought
Yeah.
him back.
And also
Against his will.
against his will.
Against
And
his
that
will.
also made
Oh, that
also
was so dark. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Also,
yeah.
when it reveals that like they brought him back, like they showed showed shots like you're gonna be my son. It's like this guy's a sociopath.
Yeah, who is this guy?
Totally. Okay, and they have 2 more kids that they don't do.
they
the
draw.
They draw pictures,
Yeah.
just very similar to the mom.
Yeah.
And so they're just pictures essentially, right?
Yeah.
Just like the mom.
Which brings up a plot hole. If she has fear, wait, no, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have one question though that I don't understand. How come they can draw these kids and they're fine, like they can exist, but Koto, the rabbit
Yeah.
drawing, had to go to a Buddha to become an existent being.
Well,
I think the Buddha lended the body because the rabbit was alive hopping around.
Sure.
he
I think-
drew the rabbit just for fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, apparently, later reveals he drew the dog.
Oh,
because the
okay.
dog-
Okay. Oh, freak.
Yeah.
Side note that I just thought about this. Does that mean he created his wife? He created his waifu? Is this just an analogy for mangakas? The mangaka Reggie that makes Rent a Girlfriend who's in love with Chizuru? It's right there.
He's got a wife and a family.
I know, but you should see the stuff he posts on Twitter.
Oh, I've seen.
Okay. Sorry for that tangent. Goodness, I'm on one. So, yeah, I just don't get it. So, like, there was the whole plot with Koto couldn't exist because the Buddha said, like, if you keep existing after you said you weren't going to, bad things were going to happen.
Yeah.
Why didn't she just get rid of her body and then Mioe just make her real again with his powers at that point?
Yeah, that's also my thing. Like,
Is that
yeah,
your
like,
is that your
plot
plot
hole?
yeah,
hole?
that's a plot hole. It's like,
Okay.
why don't you take the rabbit picture, put it on a bigger picture, and draw her so that, like, it overlaps and she gets a body.
Is because that's essentially what they did with the other ones, right? The kids.
No, well, they just drew them as pictures to begin with, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking, couldn't you do a loophole where you slap a painting on
They
there?
merge the pictures. or
Yeah.
something?
But also, here's the thing. Well, I guess I'll explain kind of why later, because
Okay.
then something wouldn't happen.
Well, it didn't
So,
even matter in the end.
yeah.
So whatever.
Mind you,
Yeah.
all this synopsizing is just episode 1
Yeah,
I've done
this
so
is
far.
episode 1.
Granted, I have taken
Then again, we
things
could
from
just
other episodes, like
we
the,
could just
the
skim.
kid died.
Yeah,
thing.
that was like episode 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So fast forwarding, the Mioe and Koto leave, and then the other 3 kids, they grow up and they
Yeah.
live in this looking glass place where nothing ages, but they do.
Also, not be too confusing. The kid, his name was Yakshmaru, and now he took his father's name.
He's now
He's Mioe
He's
too.
now Mioe.
instead of Yakishimaru or something like that. Anyway, the kid that died, that's that one.
Yeah.
Died and came back.
Yeah.
And so they're living there. Years and years have gone by. This little girl shows up out of nowhere. Her name is Koto, and then you find out that she is I'm assuming a physical, an actual child
Uh-huh.
of Big Koto and
Big Mioe.
Mioe. Big
So-
Mioe.
So
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
realized, if she
Good
just
point.
if she just had a body drawing, I don't think
They could bang.
Yeah, because she used Buddha's body, which is somewhat physical. The Buddha's
Gotcha.
so
It's
still confusing.
Okay, so my analogy comes full circle. If you're a mangaka and you want to draw your girlfriend, just know you can't bang her still. As much as
Yeah.
you want to, you can't.
You need Buddha's help.
Unless you get Buddha to help you or something.
Also because the original Mioe is a god.
And he got reincarnated
Yeah.
or something later
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Anyway, to wrap it all up, stuff happens. Little Koto saves the day
Yeah. Well,
with the help of little Mioe.
so yeah. So the two protagonists, the painted world is apparently a 13th world, and a world where only 12 worlds or planes are supposed to exist, and the shrine place is like, that's not good. This place needs to be destroyed.
Kill him.
but it's
and then
been
the-
here for who knows centuries.
Yeah.
Nobody noticed.
And then
anything.
Koto questions like, wait, why is there problems now? And as the
Yeah,
viewer's
she
like,
pointed out the loophole they were
Yeah,
gonna
it's
have.
like- yeah, why is there problems now?
And then they go ask the grandfather god. He's like,
Yeah.
there was no problems with it.
Yeah, it was actually all his fault. It's actually Mioe's fault. He wanted to destroy it. It's like, oh, okay. And so then they just use god powders to
Fix
have
it
the
all.
13th world revolve around the 12 worlds, so it keeps like a gravitational balance. So everything's fine now.
Perfect.
Oh god, this show's a headache.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the main issue or conflict with the entire show revolves around Big Mioe not wanting to take responsibilities for his actions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Glad I got
Sociopathic tendencies. He's like, I look at him, he's like, oh, he's a sociopath. Like, this is sociopathic behavior.
He's basically just all like, oh no, I made another universe. Oh no, I made some kids. okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to shove them all into the same place and then just pretend they don't exist.
Hey, kids, go in here. I'm going to go get some milk.
I'm going to go get some milk with your mom. We're going to be gone.
Yeah.
And they just
I
leave.
promise I'll be back.
Did they say they would come back? I don't remember that part.
Yeah, they said eventually one day we'll come back. So grow up and be strong.
Okay, I want to point out, or not point out, I just want to say, I think that this show is interesting. I don't necessarily think it's bad, but it's hard to follow. And my biggest issue with it lies with the fact that it tells you the story out of order over and over and over again. You'll be following some characters. Something will happen that involves into these characters. I'll take the very last episode, for example. You got Big Koto and Big Mioe talking, and all of a sudden, Little Koto pops in out of nowhere with her hammer, breaks the wall, and jumps in. And then you're like, oh, where did she come from? Well, let me tell you about it. And they go back, and then they show her how she got to that point.
Yeah.
And it's just like, can't we just get a sequential order rather than jumping all over all the time? Because the fact they jumped all over all the time was really what just confused me, and I had no idea which part of the timeline that I was in all the time.
A lot of animes do that, and I hate when they do that.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we saw this big shocking thing. Want to go flashback and see how it happened 5 minutes earlier? It's like, no, just show me what happens. Just if you want to show a shocking moment, just kind of lead up into it, subvert my expectations in some way.
I think that's much better than showing, because all you'd have to do is just show all of the Little Koto stuff and then show Big Koto and Big Mioe talking. Then all of a sudden she bursts in, and you'd be like, oh, that's where she came from, because she was in that parallel universe thing, and that's how she bursted in.
See, and it's in. I don't know if the writers necessarily intend this, but as an audience member, you feel like, well, did they just think I'm an idiot that I couldn't follow something like that?
It makes you think that. It really does.
Yeah.
But I was really lost, though, because of it.
I even feel like just telling the story side by side's fine, too, though. Like, we can put it together that, Koto's doing her thing. Oh, she just went somewhere. You could even tell it vice versa. You could tell it how they did with Big Koto and Big Mioe talking, and then, like you said, goes back and does Little Kyoto stuff.
And mind you, that's just one example in one episode. Every single episode does it.
Yeah.
Every single episode does it, and it just drove me insane. I got to the point where I could kind of understand like where it's supposed to fit into place and stuff, but for the most part, it was just like I don't know why you're doing it like this.
Yeah.
But like I said, overall, I like the message that family is important. That's cool. I like the message that you want to fight for your family to make sure that everybody's happy and everybody can get together, because everybody's got their own problems. Everybody deals with their own stuff. Just like everybody in like when it did each of like the three got their own episode. You got to see what they deal with. You got to see how they came to their happiness or conclusion, and that was cool. I liked that a lot.
Those first 5 episodes are what like hooked me. It's like, wow, this is building up to something. Let's see where it goes.
I honestly really liked the first 2.
Yeah.
Where like this, you said you have confusion. I actually liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I liked the story it told. And then a couple episodes later, I found out the kid was dead the whole time. I was like, oh Jesus,
that was shocking.
My goodness, this is out there.
Yeah, it had some of those dark moments sprinkled in. And I thought if it kind of like committed a bit more to the darker moments, like it probably would have been a more meaningful story.
Well,
and
I
mean,
think that
there is meaning in this story, but I thought like oh, it looks all happy and go lucky, but there's a dark truth to it.
Well, I feel like throughout the whole time you're getting the dark messages, though. You see how these 3 kids' lives were affected because their parents just up and left, so it shows you literally like these kids are distraught because of it. They're hanging on to memories for centuries,
and
is what
they
it
all
sounds
cope in
like.
different ways.
Yeah, and they all cope in different ways. But also going back to Big Mioe, like I believe the term is nihilism, where you just don't give an F, right?
Yeah.
He cared. I think he
Socio.
cared. He didn't care about himself. He didn't know how to care about himself, but he cared about everything else around him.
Nihilism is you don't care about anything,
well,
even
and
yourself.
that's kind of the thing that I got in the beginning, though, or not in the beginning, but rather when
you might have got to that point towards the end.
Well, because he says he's like, I'm a god, like you already mentioned, Cole. He's like, I kept creating things, but like, what's the freaking point? I don't really give a crap. Like this, I've been alive for so long. This is just monotony. And then I think when he made his family, and he saw how much they actually cared about him, he's like, oh. Well, now I have a vested interest in this now, because it's not just, oh, I created a world and they're doing their thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he was seeing how his actions affected his family.
Yeah.
But I also think that the writer may have daddy issues. Is kind of another
Very,
thing.
very well could have. Very well could have.
We're not saying this is fact, but
That's what
who
I
knows,
wrote down.
maybe-
I literally wrote, did the writer have daddy issues?
Yeah. It's also a fully woman staff, so maybe woman director, woman writer.
One thing I liked too, though, is I loved how in the Looking Glass world, all of the art had that paper outline, so it looked like it was all drawn, which I thought was just a nice touch to the
Yeah,
world.
that looks pretty cool.
Going off of that, the art direction of this whole show is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It looks good all the
This
time.
is the strongest point. It's like making it look as unique as possible, so a lot of people watch it. Not a lot of people watch this one. This was very obscure.
It never not looked good though. I don't remember. I can't think of a time though where I looked at the screen and said that was animated poorly or that looks ugly. 0 times.
I will admit though, they use a lot of recycle. They use a lot of recycled animation.
Sure.
But it recycled. It still looked pretty good.
Like that one scene on one of the last episodes where Big Mioe and Little Koto are just walking for like, I swear to God, it was like 3 minutes. And I'm like,
he's just explaining everything.
yeah, lore dump with the same continuous shot,
I
and
saw that.
just
It's like, wow, you cheaped out there.
And then going on to the stuff that I liked, I absolutely loved the ending song. I thought the ending song was so good. The intro song's not bad either, but the ending song specifically was definitely my favorite. A lot of fun. I like the ending song so much I put it on my
Although the
playlist.
ending animation is just a bunch of shapes.
Yeah, it's
doing
nothing to write
yeah.
home about, but the song's great. Then the final thing that I absolutely loved about this show, and that no anime really does, is that they made little Koto actually a kid. They made her act like a kid. She wasn't acting like adult ever. She always had very kid responses and very kid mannerisms. There was always times when she was running around playing with the little 2 sprite things that was with her. And then, like, when it was big and serious moments, she still was a kid. She didn't act like a matured adult. She was just exactly what you expect a kid to act like. Good stuff. Great writing.
Also, like the little detailed world building in the 3rd episode, where there's like, since everything regenerates. Oh yeah, a key detail of this world is that everything regenerates. If you die, you just come back to life. If something breaks, it just reanimates. Koto's hammer, it's special that if she breaks something, it doesn't repair, and that was kind of one of the keys to like destroying this world.
Yep.
But
great foreshadowing in a sense too there.
Yeah. When you don't need something in this world because there's a lot of stuff that accumulates and you don't really need it, you just kind of throw it. You just kind of lift it up in the air, and
bye.
It goes to this train where it just sends it off to
Where's it go?
Where I don't know. I think you just don't need to think about it. It's like it takes it and takes it away.
But see, there was lots of things like that, and that one, like for me, this is kind of where I had issues with it. And this is something that I just have issues with lots of shows, but they'll point out big points where you're like, oh, are they going to explore that? Like, in the beginning, I thought that the whole series was going to revolve around the fact that these kids are stuck in this world and they hate it, and they talk about leaving all the time. And you find out that little Mioe can't even kill himself again. He killed himself. That's how he died the first time, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that, but...
I like the dad's response, like, "Are you okay?" It's like he's dead. What does it look like?
Out and he's just on the floor.
But I think that one was the biggest one because when I was watching, I was like, "Oh, maybe this is going to be a story about them breaking out of this world because it's in a sense it's like a babyified world where you can't hurt like nothing bad can happen.
It's a self-indulgent prison."
Yeah, and Mioe, I believe it was Mioe was talking about. He's like, "Yeah, like." Nothing happens here. Nothing breaks.
He had a girlfriend though.
Yeah,
she was
fake.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah,
but I don't know. There was just things like that. I'm trying to think of other ones that they explored a little bit. Like I was a little bit lost with the whole science crew. I didn't know.
Yeah,
they needed that to be
underdeveloped.
Yeah,
aspect. How I would have had the show go is that the dad is like he just wanted to create a world where he could raise a family, and then the shrine, as they call them, and also it reveals that the head of the shrine and him are brothers, which
well, their dad is like the main god, and they're like 2 brother gods.
Didn't really play up on that aspect. I thought that would have been interesting when like the world he created's like everything's out of balance, and they should have been the bad guys the whole time. Like it was setting them up to be the bad guys, but then Oh no, the dad's just the bad guy.
The dad was
yeah.
just a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if the shrine was the bad guy and he was like, I want to keep this world for my kids, you can't take it from me. I wish it really would have had that angle, and then maybe like at the end, it's like Mioe and baby Koto is like, we have to go, we have to escape. It's like, do you really have to go? And
See,
the
that
dad's
could have
like,
been cool. We could have got
Man.
like a god fight though,
Yeah.
and it's one god is fighting for the balance of existence, and one god is fighting for his fake family.
yeah. And then they leave the world, and it said, so we have to leave now, and they go on adventures to other worlds, and that's what the show could have
See,
ended.
I thought it would have been a show about them trying to escape this prison their
Yeah.
dad made for them so they could find him again, I guess. I don't know. But I'm kind of with you, Cole. Like, I didn't hate the show. I have some issues with it, and I don't think this is something I could watch again. But I think the biggest problem I had is there was so much going on, and it was hard to follow at
Yeah.
times. And there's just lots of things that weren't fleshed out that I think if they were, it would have been a little bit easier to digest, obviously.
Maybe if it's so on Crunchyroll it says it's 13 episodes, but a lot of those are like one's up the little pilot or OVA that they had, which is like a test proof of concept, pretty much, which also features both Koto and Lady Koto. She like goes over and she kisses her on the lips, and it's like,
I need to
That-
watch this episode.
that is your daughter. What the hell?
I'm gonna go watch this episode and report.
Yeah. All it is,
Nice.
all pretty much is that episode 6 recycled almost every shot except left that kiss out because
Because it's weird.
yeah, that would've been weird.
Is episode 6 when they come back?
Yeah, when she gets her mom back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring this up because this is one of my biggest issues of the whole show. Is where the freak did she come from?
Yeah.
Just dimension
This
hopping.
Like, is it just like was it like a purgatory, like a dimension
So,
of just like infinite endlessness?
That probably
or?
episode doesn't make sense because, like I said, it's just recycled episode 0, as they call it. Like episode 0 doesn't make much sense because it was a proof of concept, a test concept.
Because
So
like,
this isn't a manga.
No.
Okay.
so, Koto gets like bopped by the giant robot. All of a sudden, she ends up in endless dimension, and then
Yeah.
finds her mom there. I was so confused. I
Yeah.
was just like, was she not in the real world or?
That was the problem. They just like, quick exit. Let's just
throw
recycle
her in.
episode. Yeah, recycle it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. Like, and that's where I thought, if they had 13 episodes, they could have fleshed that out better.
I'm
Fleshed
watching
that
Kiss though. That'd be cool.
Yeah. That.
You said yeah. You're the
Of
only one
course,
that has
when
seen it.
when
so.
episode 0 came out, you didn't know that they're related, so it just looked
Oh,
like
good. Okay.
So it just looked like
Episode
an
0,
older.
they're not related.
It just looked like an older woman kissing a child.
Oh, don't say it like that. Now I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it. Don't
There
watch
you
it.
go. I ruined it for
You
you.
ruined it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I think if it had a few there was episode 5.5, which was just 2 voice actresses looking through Kyoto, which is what that world is based off. Because if you hear the sub, every time they say Looking Glass City, they say Kyoto, which is a real place. And they said, we're going to tour around Kyoto. It's like, okay, great. Let's just continue with the show. And then the last episode they had airing was just a recap of the show. And I was like, I already watched the whole show. Why
It
don't
was
I
because
need-
they knew it was so confusing.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the recap either.
Yeah. As far as
Yeah.
what I remember when I watched it, it just kind of recapped the events without elaborating any further.
Oh, okay. So it's not as
So
helpful
yeah,
as
if
I
they
thought.
actually had 13 episodes to flesh this story out, I think it would be a much better show. But so far, it was a decent show.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 6 or a 7.
It's not
It
as
was
good.
television.
Sadly, it's not as good as I remember. But some things just don't hold up.
I liked it better than Be the Beginning.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. I need to make sure I gave it a higher one than be the beginning.
Yeah.
I better go check Mal after this.
Be the Beginning is a hot 4 out of 10.
Oh goodness. So I guess that's pretty much it. You guys got any final thoughts on Kyousougiga? Cool name, by the way. I like the name.
I think it'd make a better open world game.
Oh, not bad actually. That sounds cool. Cool. Well, that does it for our little recap of Kyousougiga. Overall, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Next time in 2 weeks, we're going to be watching another show. And Skylar has that show for us. What are we watching, Skylar?
Well, hopefully we don't get lynched by the anime community because this might be a little controversial. But we're gonna watch Castlevania.
Wait, why is it controversial?
Because some people say it's not anime.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those people.
I didn't
But
think about it like that.
who gives an F? Let's just watch it.
I
It
can't
looks
wait for the
anime. And it's
season.
based off a Japanese property. It looks Japanese.
I can't,
That's better.
I can't wait for the season we watch Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
that's so long.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It was a bad
I guess
joke.
just to
Yeah.
quickly clarify, we're going to be watching season 1 and 2 because season 1 is 4 episodes and season 2 is 8 episodes.
Sandwich them together.
So we
and-
got 12 episodes total.
Yeah, and if we really like it, maybe I'll pick the next seasons for future episodes. We'll see.
I think you'll really like it. I heard seasons 3 and 4 are phenomenal.
Really?
So
Yeah.
maybe we will. But we're going, it's on Netflix, so you can watch them on Netflix, all 4 seasons. Like I said, if you want to follow along with us, we're just going to be watching season 1 and 2. So
Yep, just the first 12 episodes.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to look forward to. I'm looking forward to it. I remember when this show first started airing, and I thought that could be interesting. Then I didn't really give another thought because I've never really been into the Castlevania
Yeah.
series. But hey, here we are. I'm glad we're watching it. Thanks
I
for
don't even
picking it,
think
Sky.
you'd even
Yeah.
be really into the series.
Yeah,
to
I
enjoy
guess
the
that's true.
show.
That was just my thought process. Anyway.
I've never played
The
one
Castlevania
game.
lore, franchise lore, is not too complex.
I played Castlevania 1 on the NES, and that's it.
Was it fun?
No, because
I
I'm
played.
bad at video games.
Let's go.
I played a few
Me too.
Castlevania games like Symphony of the Night. I enjoyed it. I never beat it. It's one of those games I go back and beat. The Metroidvania Castlevanias are the art.
I own the Xbox 360
tier.
Castlevanias because I wanted to play them, but I
Sha-
never played them.
Lords of Shadow.
It looks really
I
cool.
played the first one. It's just kind of a God of War clone.
It looks really cool.
Yeah. It was cool. It looked cool, but like
I believe you.
maybe I'll do a video on them because I
There
like
we
those
go.
type of games.
Thane likes to do videos where he plays like 7 games and then
Yeah.
does an hour-long video.
That God of War video, yeah, I want to do it for Devil May Cry.
Well, with that is our show. We will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you look out for the Chainsaw Man episodes as they come out. We're getting near the end of that show. And then we're going to have something else replace it because we like the idea.
But you gotta wait.
You have to
Yeah, you
wait.
have
Stay
to wait
tuned
to
for that.
See what it is.
We're gonna talk about that later on. Yeah, if you don't know, we also do other things on YouTube. We have a channel called Radcats. If that wasn't apparent, where we do video essays on many different things, including anime and manga reviews as well. So check that out too. Check out our other show, Talking Rad, if you're interested in other podcasts and that we do. That you just hear us talk about stuff that's not anime. Anyway, that is our show. Thank you guys for watching Life is Daijoubu, and we hope you guys have a great life. We'll see you all later.
Bye.